Hey Internet, this is Gunther with MiniMishaps Games, and today I'm going to be giving you an update on the GetherVerse. It's Friday, and that means that we have Fri-lights, and our Fri-lights for the whatever Friday of the month this is. This must be the third Friday of January. We are doing our RPG Friday, Fri-lights. So I'm going to be telling you about everything that's going on in the GetherVerse. So if you're just joining us, the GetherVerse is the homebrew universe where everything exists that I create, that I write, that I've DM'd, and that I've worked on for the last 25 years. And so presently, and anything that I run and DM is in that universe. And so I'm going to be going through some of our projects on the art side and letting you know how and if they made appearances, and also what the world is doing, because it's the same universe and has been one continuous timeline in real time. So broad sweeping story arcs and recurring villains and characters and NPCs that are staples of the different towns. So presently, last week at Nerd HQ, the players fought, so 2 weeks ago they fought one of the long-standing villains and actually rolled enough criticals in a row to make that kind of permanent, and that was the Iron Lizard, which is essentially Iron Man if he was a lizard folk. The Iron Lizard's armor was a discarded piece of Mandabarkian tech. Mandabark, if you are also just joining us, is a recurring villain, one of the most long-standing villains. He's also dead as far as everyone knows, and when he died, all of his tech and labs and things were brought together at a place on the continent where all the decision makers and government officials decided what to do with that Mandabarkian scrap, because it included technology from other universes and magic that doesn't exist anywhere else in this version of the world, and pieces that were from before the destruction of the world, because he was a villain in the last iteration as well. So spanning several thousand years worth of tech and magitech. So somehow this frilled lizard folk, and I'll see if I can pull up a picture here for you, managed to get his hands on a suit of armor made from this tech, and 2 weeks ago the players finally defeated the Iron Lizard as he was trying to escape to fight in another chapter, and was disintegrated with no other recourse and no grand exit speech. So that was 2 weeks ago, and then this last week so there have been whisperings of the Hungry Dark, and if you don't know what the Hungry Dark is, it's essentially a dark force that took over a bunch of nanites that gain sentience and awareness the more of them that rub together. So if you just have a small amount, then they're pretty mindless, and as they gather, they can take the properties of the things that they absorb. And so 3 weeks ago, players fought with a rope dragon, one of the very few dragons in this version of the GetherVerse. And basically the rope dragon, after being defeated, warned them about this Hungry Dark returning. It hasn't made an appearance in this version of the world. It was thought to have been destroyed in the last world of destruction. And So now they're getting kind of bits and pieces of this Hungry Dark is coming. So last week, the adventurers investigated the academy because all the mechanical objects and magical mechanical objects were going crazy. The coffee makers and these kinds of machineries. And so they suspected and later confirmed that it was some of these nanites from the Hungry Dark. So they're all now starting to weave together this understanding of the big baddie coming. So the nanites had infected everything all the way down to the android registrar for the academy, and so they had to essentially, the Hungry Dark had taken a vessel, which was just some visitor to the campus, but through that person he was able to control the nanites, and so the adventurers had to free first the nanites and then battle the nanites against this wizard slash nanites. So that's what's going on in the GetherVerse right now. The Sanfei is quiet, Capital City is fairly quiet, the Impossible Sea is fairly quiet. The Blast Haven is having the same, and the Swath is having the same political issues that it's been having for some time, with kind of an over amount of people trying to decide what to do with that space. But the little port is turning into a pretty good-sized town now. The orcs from the pirate ships have settled there, or at least made an outpost there outside of town. So there's both, everyone from the main continent as well as these seafaring orc tribe. And then you have the Swath, which they investigated the living rocks and living metal in the Swath, and now it's essentially empty. There's essentially nobody trying to bother them once they figured out that the mines were retaliating, as it were. So that is most of the stuff happening in the GetherVerse. There are a couple of virtual ventures that are technically still open, and that is Tadeo Salazar, who is... What is Tadeo up to? Tadeo Salazar, who is escorting a spirit that is adhered to a knife to go try and find release, trying to get that ghost out of the knife. And then you have Sir Spitfire and Sir Yami, who are both Knights of the main continent, Knights of Capital City, and they are at present across the ocean in Kithaern, trying to solve all of the whodunit of the three big crime families there in Kithaern. And then we have further south of Kithaern in the Impossible Sea along the coast near the Key Swallow maximum security prison, we have the voyage of the Iron Booty is just beginning. So they have just procured a ship and a little crew of NPCs, and that actually that NPC codex for the Iron Booty ship should be coming out soon on our DriveThruRPG, so you can watch for that. I think that's everything going on for the GetherVerse. So we'll see you guys in a month for this particular kind of video. In a month we'll do another Fri-lights on our RPG side, and then regular art videos resume later on today or tomorrow. So enjoy, and if you like this content, let us know. You can support us on DriveThruRPG, like I said, or on Patreon. Buy me a coffee, and then the regular like and subscribe stuff. So we appreciate it very much, and hopefully you've enjoyed this little installment of the GetherVerse news, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Internet.